The Fox and the Grapes. In a lush forest, a cunning fox named Felix lived a life of mischief and adventure. One sunny afternoon, while exploring the woods, Felix stumbled upon a beautiful vineyard. The juicy grapes hung tantalizingly from the vines, enticing Felix's taste buds. Felix's eyes grew wide with desire as he gazed at the ripe grapes. He had never tasted such delicious-looking fruit before. His mouth watering, Felix decided that he must have those grapes. Determined to satisfy his craving, Felix attempted to reach the grapes. He jumped and stretched, but the vines remained just out of his grasp. Undeterred, Felix tried again and again, each failure fueling his frustration. As the sun began to set, Felix realized that his efforts were in vain. The grapes seemed inaccessible, and his thirst for them only intensified. Feeling embarrassed and defeated, Felix concocted a clever excuse to soothe his wounded pride. "Those grapes are probably sour anyway," Felix said to himself, trying to convince himself that he didn't really want them. "I'm sure they're not as juicy as they look. Who needs grapes when there are plenty of other delicious berries in the forest?" Felix repeated this mantra to himself, almost believing his own words. He turned away from the vineyard, pretending that he had never truly desired the grapes. As Felix wandered through the forest, he encountered his friend, a wise old owl named Alwyn. Alwyn noticed Felix's discontent and asked what troubled him. Felix shared his tale of woe, exaggerating his disinterest in the grapes. Alwyn listened attentively, her piercing gaze seeing through Felix's deception. "Felix, my dear fox," Alwyn said gently, "you can't fool yourself or others. Your disappointment is palpable. It's okay to admit defeat and acknowledge your desires." Felix looked at Alwyn, his pride wounded, but his curiosity piqued. "Why do you say that, Alwyn?" "Because, Felix," Alwyn replied, "true strength lies not in pretending we don't want something, but in accepting our limitations and desires. The grapes may be out of reach, but that doesn't diminish their appeal. Acknowledge your disappointment and move on. There's more to life than just one vineyard." Felix pondered Alwyn's words, realizing the wisdom behind them. He returned to the vineyard, this time admiring the grapes from a distance. "Those grapes do look delicious," Felix admitted to himself, "and I truly wish I could taste them. But I'll find other delights in the forest, and maybe one day I'll discover a way to reach those grapes." From that day on, Felix carried Alwyn's lesson with him, embracing his desires and limitations. He explored the forest with renewed curiosity, discovering hidden treasures and forming meaningful connections with his fellow creatures. Moral of the story, acknowledge your desires and limitations.